Life's not about the number of Breathe by Pink Floyds you take. It's the moments that take your Breathe by Pink Floyds away. Welcome to Sync Floyd, the podcast where we watch every movie ever made to see if it syncs up with Pink Floyd's 1973 magnum opus, The Dark Side of the Moon. My name is Gareth Blackler, and I've actually been handed this card, and I'm meeting this guy by the zoo. Is that James Barron?
Hi, consummate womanizer, James Barron here. How's it going, Gareth?
No.
I'm here to ruin your day. What's going on? What are we talking?
Well, I just watched this hit film, Hitch.
Yeah.
This Hitch film, Hitch.
Yeah, it puts the hit in Hitch, that's for sure. We watched Hitch this week. When did Hitch come out? I didn't even write that down.
February 2005.
Wow.
The same year, the star of Hitch, Will Smith, released a song called Switch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does that play in Hitch? I have no knowledge of this.
Nah.
That's really unfortunate. Maybe he was inspired by... He had the itch from Hitch, like I said on the end of last episode, and it was just lurking in his mind. And that's where you get the itch, apparently. Jesus. He cooked up Switch that same year.
Almost definitely. Like, I don't know about you, but when I watched Hitch, I could not stop saying the word Hitch. And then I was going around my house, and every time I had something stuck in my head, like a song, I'd be changing lyrics to be the word Hitch. It's a very fun word to say.
It's good. It's got good mouth feel, that word. You can drop it out anywhere and people were like, "Oh, I wonder is that a new saying that people have on TikTok? I don't know." It's pretty good. I like saying Hitch.
Me too.
It does have a fairly terrible connotation in that it's well, I don't know, really. It's the point of Hitch is that he's setting guys up with girls. He's helping out the socially awkward to get into relationships, proper relationships, not one night stands, which is what I expected Hitch to be about. I went into this movie completely blind. No idea, by the way.
I don't think I'd seen it before either.
I saw the meme. I saw one meme from this movie with Will Smith slapping Kevin James in the face and then shaking his finger no. That's something I've seen many a time, but that's all the Hitch knowledge that I had.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, going in. Yes. What did we think? Did you enjoy watching Hitch?
Well, I also didn't think... I thought Hitch was going to be a way more, problematic figure. Yeah. And he's not problematic in the way, especially to be in the mid-2000s, the decade... They're realizing now it's the decade feminism forgot.
Wow.
It's it's oddly it's not perfect, but I couldn't find any huge blaring problems with it in any way. It's Hitch himself, incredibly an earnest fellow. The movie tells you he's cold and frozen over, but considering September that year, the world was introduced to Neil Patrick Harris as Barney Stinson. Yeah. Who oddly, the world remembers as a much warmer figure, but you rewatch How I Met Your Mother and you're like, oh boy, this guy's a nightmare.
Yeah. That's exactly what I expected Hitch to be, a Barney Stinson type. But yeah, he's into it for weirdly altruistic reasons. Yeah. For some reason. I don't know, some of his methods are still fairly creepy to me.
Oh, yeah, especially in the intro.
Yeah, so I feel like he doesn't get away fully scot-free here. No. But it's at least he's coming at it from the right angle, and that we'll see that over the course of the film, that Hitch, maybe he's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hitch, maybe he's okay.
Yeah, they put that on the DVD re-release of Hitch.
Yeah.
In the new feminist era.
Yeah. Yeah. Would it shock you that this is Will Smith's only rom-com?
Wow. Really?
Yeah. I mean, as far as I can tell, some of his recent stuff I don't think anyone talks about, but none of that looked like a rom-com, at least.
Yeah, true, I guess. Yeah. Like he's got a romantic interest in bloody Independence Day, but I wouldn't call that a rom-com.
Feels love, but this is his only like complete rom-com.
Straight rom-com movie, yeah.
Which, considering this movie is completely carried by... It's hitched up by Will Smith.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, it's amazing that he's only used this power once for the world. He could heal the world if he came back.
Wow. Man.
With Hitch too.
That's a lot of power.
Yeah.
I wonder why he made that call, because it's almost definitely on him. I feel like this movie was like pretty successful, right? And then he just didn't gel with doing romantic comedies, or he saw himself as more of an action star.
Yeah. Well, this is kind of the end of one of Will Smith's eras. Like, you've got your early Will Smith, which leads into your like huge blockbuster Will Smith, where he releases a song at the end of every movie. He follows Hitch with his final album so far, Lost and Found. Then he starts kind of doing what you just kind of call the like, era of Will Smith, where he's like in Hancock and Other Earth and I Am Legend, where it's like, it's Will Smith's misses. Yeah. Not Jada Pinkett, that is.
Wait, whoa.
Hey. It's when he doesn't get his hits. He's had an era of being Hitch, and now he's Miss Hitch.
Yeah. That's fair.
And then he just kind of becomes Hollywood's dad and just kind of does stuff with Jaden Smith. And then, now we've got our weird, like, Focus and Suicide Squad and Aladdin Will Smith, where you just don't feel it anymore.
He's gone full dad. Definitely, yeah. He's in full dad mode. He's sort of lost the cool that he had in a weird way, I feel like. But I feel like he could earn it all back. I feel like it's still his to reclaim, you know. He's just got to like put in the right performance, and then I'll be back on the Will Smith train. He hasn't fully lost me, I don't think.
No, not at all.
You know?
And I reckon it's a Hitch sequel. I reckon, like, everyone said bringing back Queer Eye for the Straight Guy would be bad, and then that turned out to be like life-affirming and great, and like changed the pop culture landscape. Like, if you do Hitch right, you could like heal the world.
Wow, heal the world, Hitch. That's the name of it as well. It's just called Hitch: Heal the World. Where he just like magically sets everyone else up, and it's like, wow, harmony, peace.
Yeah. It's like not romantic, it's entirely political. He's trying to like get politicians to see eye to eye now.
He solves all conflict.
Yeah.
And then ascends like a Christ-like figure at the end.
Yeah.
I can only see that movie doing well.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Amazing. Well, shall we talk about the movie that is setting the groundwork for that outstanding sequel, Gareth?
Yeah. That sounds good.
The movie Hitch. Let's do it. Opening title, Speak to Me, you know the drill, it's all here. Got various ladies waking up in the morning about their day, doing their things. There's like guys trying to hit on them. This is like a weird montage at the start of this movie. I'm not entirely sure what's happening at the time that I'm writing this notes. Hitch is giving a monologue over this about what women think about. And like all these things that they say as excuses for not going out with someone, basically. And then, here he is. We get to see him here, Hitch. He's doing something with a dog. His full name is, by the way, Alex Hitchkins. Or like Hitch is his like nickname, I guess. So Alex Hitchkins. But he goes by Hitch, because why wouldn't you? So there's just like a weird montage of like these dudes being rejected or avoided by girls, and then like through the magic of Hitch, they all hook up with these girls. His move here that we see him performing is that he like lures a lady's dog out of a closing elevator by putting like a dog down for the other dog to chase after.
Classic, like, Lola Bunny of the Dashind world. Like, it's a dog with a little bow in its hair.
A little stunt dog that he's got and puts down, and then the dog races out, and then he hands it off to a guy who's trying to set up with this girl, and he like fakes saving the dog from running out into the road, which I think this is shady as fuck. I hate this like fabricated story.
This is the worst thing Hitch does, and he does it immediately. It's almost literally the opposite of saving the cat.
Yeah, basically. It really sucks. It's like we're hit immediately with like exactly what I expected from this movie, and I was like, oh man, this is gonna suck. And then like this guy, like we see his relationship develop with this girl, and then he's like had sex with her. And that's the end goal, apparently. It's like, great, okay. Well,
Hitch is like, on what he says is that he's only going to help you up to the first kiss.
Yeah.
But it's pretty implied. Like, the fact it ends with them waking up together, it's like the movie's saying, like, Hitch helped.
Hitch helped. You know what happens after that kiss. It's all the sex, all right? That's how a relationship be. According to Hitch.
You don't hit it and quit it. You hitch it and quit it.
Well, I hate that.
Maybe I shouldn't write the Hitch sequel.
Maybe. Leave it to the professionals, Gareth. All right? Me. So we zoom into this bloody old firehouse that reminds me of the firehouse from Ghostbusters. And he's given advice to various people here. He's trying to hook this guy up with someone. We're just sort of seeing his day-to-day, right?
Yeah.
And how he's getting these girls and orchestrating the dates, etc. And then, it's all good. It's all success. And then we cut from this, very... cheap intro, really, to Sarah?
I think it was Sarah, because I put this on without Pink Floyd, just while I was going about my morning, and then I ran out of things to do and just sat and watched all of Hitch, thinking friend of the show, Maddie Smith, would come home sooner, and she didn't, so I just kept watching Hitch, and I completed Hitch, and that was the last film I watched in my 20s.
Oh, no.
And it was almost, I snuck in we'll get to it. We'll probably bring it up, the other film I watched. I snuck in a different film in between this and Hitch being the first film I watched in my 30s as well, because that would have been interesting.
Oh, man. Anyway. If it was both, that would be a little wild, Back-to-back Hitch is like the weirdest possible bookends. Like,
but what if this decade goes great and then I have to do it every end of a decade, every end of my age decade is the double Hitch?
I don't think it's based on the double Hitch. I don't know. I'm not superstitious in that way.
Okay, you're not super hitchous.
No, not quite. Oh my gosh. So Sarah then, played by Eva Mendes here, is the key love interest for Hitch over the course of the film, and here she is. We get her already, and she's just like getting a bit of background stuff here at the with her co-workers. She's like single and works for this gossip magazine, gossip rag kind of thing. She's a reporter kind of person. Her co-workers imply that she should be out dating, and all the clocks go off in time. By the way, we're still doing the Pink Floyd thing. I haven't really noticed anything over the course of this intro as well. She's wearing a Beatles t-shirt, and that's really throwing me off. It's just like in my head, I just keep imagining the Beatles, and I'm like, these guys, they aren't Pink Floyd, all right? I'm not happy.
As far as I know, we haven't crossed much paths of the Beatles yet in this endeavor.
Not yet.
To watch every film with Pink Floyd,
and that's
even though like the two definitely crossed paths in the 60s, and then went very different directions. So
I don't know.
Interesting. What if Pink Floyd's scaring the Beatles away, and only Eva Mendes is strong enough to bring them?
I don't know. That would be a new development for me. I'd have to consult my graphs and figures and tables and see what that does to them. I've never tried to factor like another band in, really. You know. No. Oh well.
We've been forced to a couple times.
Oh yeah, we did the Yu-Gi-Oh thing, but I wouldn't call that a band. You know.
Yeah. And the Who we had, but
we did have the Who. I forgot all about that, man.
They kind of just got like pushed back down by the Pink Floyd, like
basically, yeah, smothered beneath.
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough when you have one band on mute and another band playing for the other band to really get a chance.
It is. It's real tough. They should have thought of that.
Yeah,
when making this movie and like put more Beatles presence in there. Just get like Paul McCartney to make a cameo. If someone
Paul McCartney as Albert, that would have been amazing.
Oh hell yeah! Back on board with Hitch. Amazing.
I just can't make her fall in love with me, Hitch.
Oh, I'm not famous at all, and she totally is.
No one would believe it. It's so
That'd be great.
He plays like Albert, and the idea is that he's like just a normal New York guy, but he's still just Paul McCartney.
It's the exact same role as Kevin James plays, yeah. Oh.
The extras aren't told that Paul McCartney's going to be in it and keep looking at him like, what? That's Paul McCartney.
Everyone's staring at him all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. She's like using her gossip powers around the office, basically. Her boss tries to like call her out on something, but she's got like this weird investigative knowledge on him. And so he's like, I'll give you a raise because we're like, I don't know. It felt very like morally bankrupt, this whole thing. Like everyone had blackmail over each other. But
yeah. So she was on holiday and she got a photo of Kevin James's later love interest. And one of the Scars guards who gets cut out of this film are like cheating with each other. So like she just immediately gets a raise even though, she, I don't know,
it's
a
weird.
Bad employee otherwise.
I don't know. Yeah, they like neither of them have that like good jobs. Really, they're kind of like morally ambiguous jobs. This may be why they end up together. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway. So yeah, she's like that's established. We've established both those characters now, and then we go to Hitch is at a bar hanging out with his friend, who's played by Michael Rappaport or Rappaport.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say this guy's name, but I do like him as an actor and stuff. He's like interesting in a lot of things. He's kind of just always plays the same character in whatever he's in, but I do enjoy his presence.
He was in a sitcom that I don't remember watching, but I do remember thinking about in English class.
Yeah, all right.
Don't know what that says.
It was one of those ones where he's got a family and kids and they're always making him yell. They're always driving him up the damn wall with whatever it is that's going on that week, you know? And he's always like, but I love them. You know? That was his whole thing. And that's
God, they used to churn those shows out in the 90s and 80s.
Yeah, man. There are so many. And they're like, he's like... The name that came to mind was According to Jim, and it's not According to Jim. Like, that's the exact same show as the one I just described, but with a completely different cast.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway.
So it was like My Wife and Kids, and Everyone Loves Raymond.
Yeah, I think... Yeah. Oh, I
feel like he was in My Wife and Kids as well. Maybe. That's, again, the exact same role of friend with slightly different life who tells the protagonist what he's doing wrong.
Yeah, pretty much. That's all he's here for. He's here for just this scene to say, like, you need to think about your damn life, Hitch. And Hitch is like, nah. My wife is... not my wife, I don't have one. My life is sweet without a wife, actually.
Yeah.
I'm out here having all the promiscuous sex like Justin Timberlake sings about. It's pretty great. And he's like, I don't know. It's weird that he's like a pickup artist or that is single, and he focuses on having short-term relationships while helping others achieve like the opposite.
Yeah.
Like healthy long-term relationships. He's like, we get an explanation for why this is later. And it's why he's like a guarded kind of character, but it's pretty like strange. You would think that would be your first question for a pickup artist. Like, are you in a relationship? How's that going?
Yeah.
Like, he's like, nah, single for like 30 years. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty wild. So yeah, they're playing pool and they're talking about how pool is a metaphor for relationships or whatever. It's weird.
I reckon like Hitch just pays this guy to come in like once a month and have a like male bonding
like,
rom-com
check in on
moment
him.
with him. Yeah. Yeah. He's actually Hitch's therapist.
Oh, I like that energy a lot. He
Yeah.
just takes him out to a bar because that's like all he knows.
Yeah.
Oh man.
This guy like kind of lied at a party and said he was my therapist. Now he's got to stick with it.
Yeah.
His client Hitch.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
He's just this roaming therapist who doesn't like accidentally a therapist
Yeah.
and just like builds a reputation. Oh, that should be a sitcom. Like accidentally become a great therapist.
I feel like it's a very dangerous message to send out.
Oh, totally.
With the
But,
right
like,
cast.
Yeah, it could be just like a fast thing, you know, like everyone's like playing it up like way too much and they just keep falling into great success. Like that's fun, you know.
I like that. I mean, you could argue, oh, my kids and wife drive me up the wall is a dangerous message, but mind sitcom gold out of that.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, like basically this is playing this scene of him like not appreciating his time and not like wanting to settle down in any way. It does kind of fit the song that's playing because we've got time playing over this, which is like it's a kind of a fit. It kind of works for me, and that like time's all about like letting moments pass you by and like running out of time. You know, like not thinking about the future in that way, and then like regretting it. So yeah,
Yeah, I like that.
yeah. So Sarah comes in with her friend Casey, who is going to become relevant later on. And she is upset because she got hit on by like someone who's gross, who's going to come up later. And they're just like barely intersecting in this bar. Like they're right. These peers are right next to each other, but nothing happens at this point.
Yeah.
And also the friends here talk about Hitch just because he's like so well known. Like, it's like, you heard about this like pickup artist guy? Like, isn't he interesting as an idea? She's like considering like consulting him or something like that. I don't know, but it's kind of wild that he's so well known around New York. But
Yeah, he's like Love Batman.
yeah,
Like, you're hearing the rumors about him.
Love Batman's a great concept as well.
Yeah, that's a sitcom.
That's
Or
very
more
good.
like, I guess, a love like UFO or love Sasquatch.
Love Sasquatch is great. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the next one in the Disney, like, love comma trilogy. Like, love Alex, love Victor, love Sasquatch.
Love Actually and Love Sasquatch.
Love Sasquatchly.
Oh,
And all, like, 25 characters are different Sasquatch from different movies about Sasquatch and Yetis. Oh,
we're back on board.
yeah.
And it takes
We've got
place
Harry
on
from Harry and the
Christmas.
Henderson. We've got Smallfoot.
Yeah. Smallfoot, everyone's favorite Yeti. I forgot all about Smallfoot, if I'm being honest.
Same.
Hey.
Yeah.
God damn. And then, like, right at the end, we get, like, the best cameo with the, like, blurry filter Sasquatch who started it all.
Yeah.
He just waltzes into frame. You're like, oh, shit, there he is. It's great.
Yeah. Oh, I saw him. Oh, and he's in love.
And then he sings the Christmas song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're all hanging out here at this bar, and then Hitch pulls like another move on a girl out here who's like surrounded by guys. He pretends that he thinks this girl is a waitress and like hands her a banknote to order a drink, like to get him a drink from the bar. And she's like chases after him being like, excuse me, dick, I'm not a waitress.
Yeah.
I'm just a girl at this bar. And then he's like, like, I knew you weren't a waitress, but I got you away from all those guys. Aren't I clever? And that works somehow?
Yeah.
Like, what? That's some, like, weird social engineering shit that, like, how is that attractive? I don't understand how that move is good.
Yeah.
He's like,
no, I did not
yeah,
like it. He calls her sweetheart a whole bunch.
Yeah, what the fuck is that? Like, come on. I'm not a relationship expert, Gareth. I'm not at all.
Yeah.
But
Well,
like,
heck.
that's just like bad. It's bad play.
No.
I don't know. That's another downbeat for Hitch. He's 0 for 2 right now. Like, he's about to strike out looking in my book, you know.
Honestly, I think another thing we're realizing as we do this is so many films rely on their characters being likable based on the actor, and it's especially true with our enemy Tom Hanks. But like, once you kind of take away, because I mean, Hitch says at the beginning like that so much of communication is non-verbal, but once you do take away that 10% verbal and you can't hear what they're saying, and you've only got the old Pink Floyd playing, you do lose a lot of the charm. So don't forget that 10%.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you're so right, actually. Like, it probably plays a lot better with sound.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's still, like, just like when you break it down, like, what just happened there, it's a bad one, you know? Like, categorically, I don't know. Anyway, the movie also makes a mistake here, and that, like, we just go from this scene straight into a flashback with basically no foreplay, which is very strange. And then, it's like going back to Hitch's college days and had, like, formative moment in his life where he falls in love with this girl, and then they like get together and have this like great relationship, but then she cheats on him with another guy, and he's like in the rain outside of her car, like beating on the window, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then like is in response to this, he says he owes it to his fellow men, to his fellow man to like make sure this kind of thing doesn't happen to like to the good guys or whatever. He's saying like, he's teaching the
I didn't
the
put
men of the
that
world
together, how gross that is, but yeah.
It's fucking weird. It's
Like,
also
that's-
like this is
sorry. I'm in
no,
shock.
you go.
That's like red pill behavior, really. Like,
Kind of,
let
yeah.
a nice guy win is Hitch's MO. Oh no.
Basically.
I wish I hadn't started this episode saying Hitch wasn't problematic, because I'm eating those words.
Yeah, sorry.
I noticed you stayed pretty quiet for that part.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know, like maybe Gareth has some points here to defend Hitch, but in my notes he's like not looking so hot, you know.
Oh no.
It's all right, mate.
Anyway. While I have that crisis, we cut back to the present day, right?
Yeah. So like, he's like, that's his like MO for the whole film. And also like the reason why he's so guarded as a person in his own personal relationships. Like he's unwilling to take like his own advice in a lot of situations. Because he's like afraid of getting hurt again. And he's like, rather than deal with my own internal conflict about this, I'm going to like project it onto all other relationships and attempt to fix them. And like he's good at it? Question mark? So yeah, like there we go. Anyway,
it's very the like I guess late capitalism and toxic masculinity that you're gonna, if you don't feel sad and you're making money, then whatever you're doing is working. So you just never think about it, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Except for when you play pool with your therapist.
Yeah, that's classic times, man. Oh my god, playing pool with a therapist. That's just such a good vibe. Yeah, so it's time for Albert Brenneman, aka Kevin James, as Kevin James is wont to be. And again, every role that he's in, he's always playing Kevin James, as far as I know.
Yeah.
And
well, I do have my I'm going to say it, and I'm not ashamed to eat these words. This is the most likable Kevin James I've seen.
Hard agree.
Yeah, I feel.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on this one. Kevin James kind of won me over the course of this movie. I'm not going to lie.
Yes.
Yeah, like credit to Kevin James. Like he has an appeal that clearly works. He's like he's not afraid to like make himself the fool. He's like a classic clown in a kind of way, right? Like where he does the pratfalls and all kinds of things like that, and he's a physical kind of actor. Physical comedian where he's like falling over and doing all kinds of silly stuff, and like that can be a bit much if you see it over the course of like a whole 2-hour movie, right? Like in the movies that he's carrying, like Paul Blart Mall Cop, for example, like that can just be grating when it's just that the whole time, you know?
For sure, yeah.
But when he's being that as like a little bit of comic relief in a movie, like it lands a whole lot better, I think. Like, you know, like it's definitely good. You know, they're just different kinds of different kinds of audiences appeal in that way to those different kinds of films. But have you seen? So I've seen the most likable Kevin James. Yeah.
Have you seen the film that came out last year and it's just hit Netflix in New Zealand at least? It's called Becky.
No, I don't. Should I not? Should I?
So Becky turned out to be the first film I watched in my 30s, thus kicking off, capping one decade with some Kevin James and kicking off a fresh Kevin James decade.
Wow.
Becky it's a film about a family that go to the woods and a skinhead escapes from jail and takes them hostage.
Okay.
Completely serious, very gory.
Oh.
Not bad, but not great. Guess who plays the skinhead, though?
Kevin James, really?
Kevin James.
As a, escaped skinhead from jail.
Yeah.
Man.
Terrifying in it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Oh, no. Honestly, Becky is scarier, but, like...
Yeah.
Yeah. Kevin James does quite well in that as well. Like, I think he needs to be free of the curse of the Sandman, Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
And, like, he could probably do some great stuff. Our boy.
Yeah. Just give him a little bit of leash away from like his that like constant like joke a minute kind of film, and like he actually has some chops on him, you know? Never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like the character of Albert with his inhaler. He just needs some breathing room.
Yeah, man.
And then he's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. He's got heart, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, he's a good presence in this movie. I was kind of surprised actually ending up liking him because, I'm predisposed to not, but he won me over. So he plays like a investment broker, accountant-y guy here, like Auckland. I don't know. Or he's not in Auckland. Awkward and hopeless in love. And he's in love with one of his clients, one of their high-profile clients at the firm, Allegra Cole, who is this like expert, famous, amazing person who has a lot of money, an heiress, I believe.
I don't know if it outright says, but it's very implied.
Yeah, she's like I don't know, and so he's hired Hitch to like try and help him get with this girl. Not get with this girl, to have a relationship with this girl because he's in love with her. And he's like sitting out on some like steps and pouring food all over himself like he does. Basically he like lacks all confidence, but he's like desperately in love with this girl and like very passionate about her. And Hitch like laughs at him and says that he's crazy, but also like respects like that he has this passion about him, like recognizes that and sees that he kind of has a shot because he's like, he has the confidence to do it. Like, is kind of what he sees, I think. He compares him to Michelangelo painting the Sistine Chapel. Like, it's gonna be a big old job, Gareth.
That's what he said, mate, it's going to be a big job when he saw that chapel.
Gonna be a big job. Gonna be lying on a bloody a swing for ages, painting this bloody ceiling all like 8 years or something, 12 years. I don't know how long the Sistine Chapel took.
No, I feel like every time I think I know something about the Sistine Chapel, I turn out to be wrong, so... I'm not going to take any more.
God
any
is
there.
painted on it. God's up there. He's pointing at something. It's pretty cool.
Speaking of beautiful things,
Sure.
so Kevin James.
Oh, hey.
Actually, no, kind of is what I'm saying. So we've got Great Gig in the Sky playing.
Yeah.
They're sitting on these steps. This is when it hit me that the cinematography and color grading of Hitch is so beautiful.
It's really good, honestly.
Right?
Like they play a lot around with the color grade over the course of this movie, and I noticed it as well. And then I was like, actually, they're like putting in the work here. New York's looking real good in this movie.
So good. So many beautiful shades of like blues and golds just scattered across. Like a kind of lovely little periwinkle blue, I think you'd call it.
Yeah,
just accenting every shot. It's like
periwinkle
lovely.
Blue. Oh my gosh, fantastic.
Any color you like by Pink Floyd. These colors, please.
We've got them. Got them in Hitch. Yeah. So basically, also like Hitch is seeing this as like a unique challenge, right? Like Kevin James is going to be like a bit of a mess, a bit of a tricky client for him, and so he's like, "Oh, we're gonna do it. I'm gonna train you, Albert, in the arts of seduction." From here, we cut straight into money and into the next scene. We get a scene transition sync, which kind of floored me. I was like, what? That's a sync? Okay. As we go to like Hitch doing like research on the web into who Allegra Cole is and like information about her life. Again, this is really creepy, weird shit. Like, he's going to use this information to like try and give it all to Albert to try and like find a way into talking to Allegra. But it's like, don't do that. Just like talk to them and organically. I don't know. Fuck.
Again, that's what Hitch kind of wants you to do. And that's why I was like, oh, it's not too problematic. But yeah, he's kind of, I'll say it, Hitch is doing maybe like 90% of the way to not being problematic, but then it is that last 10%.
Yeah.
You just gotta,
you're like, actually,
you just gotta go and
his chosen
stalk.
methods are pretty sketch. It turns out that it's pretty hard to paint the pickup artist in a good light. But the movie makes an earnest attempt, so, you know, we gotta give it props for that. So he's like orchestrating this first meeting, like they've met before, but you know, like a meeting between Albert and Allegra where she's having this big meeting in a boardroom with all the execs in here who manage her funds, and she wants to invest in her friend's fashion business. And basically the brokerage isn't really keen on this idea because they're making a like fat old profit off of managing her money, obviously.
Yeah.
Probably got it invested in all kinds of like hedge funds, etc. As they were wont to do back in 2005. Then
real estate, that's not going to fail.
Yeah, it'll be sweet. Have some money, it's fine. Albert basically goes against his boss and sides with Allegra, saying that she should be able to use her own money however she wants, instead of, quote, asking a boardroom of her dad's friends or golf buddies if she's allowed to. For me, this scene hit pretty damn different after like the Britney Spears stuff that's been happening recently, or like I say recently, like over the course of like, I don't know, the last 20 years of her career. This like, it plays so differently now. Like,
whoa.
Yeah. These guys just like managing all their money. God damn. I wish she had a Kevin James on her side. That would be great.
I wish everyone had a Kevin James on their side.
Just in their camp. Yeah. Be a lot better of the world.
Except for unless you had the Becky Kevin James, in which case.
Oh, maybe not.
No.
The escaped skinhead Kevin James? No, I'll pass.
Yeah.
So Albert finishes this scene off by like quitting really dramatically and like walking out of the office and then running into his own office and having like a panic attack over, we're getting in money solo here. And like fighting Hitch and flipping out again, like showing off his like his physicality as an actor, really, like throwing stuff all over the room. He just does this a lot. This is just a Kevin James move. Anyway,
Kevin James famously hates all set designers and must destroy their work.
Yeah, he undoes it. He probably actually loves set designers because they just set up like a whole bunch of things for him to knock over like dominoes, you know? They're just like
Kevin James, when he gets a day off, he gets his set designers into his house, they set up a bunch of vases, and he just goes
ham.
Crazy. Yeah.
Pretty sure that's true. It's not even a joke.
He sets up one roller skate at the top of the stairs and goes like, hoo, I'll be back for you later.
He hires all the set designers to like set up a Home Alone trap in his own house for himself. Yeah. Oh, I love it. Yeah, so while he's having this panic attack, Allegra comes by to like thank him for like acting in her defense or in her best interests, really. And then, sets up a time to talk about like the future investment plans, which is close enough to a date, apparently. For Hitch. And Hitch is like helping out from behind the door here, coaching old mate Kevin James here. Out of this scene, we get another perfect scene transition sync into Us and Them, Gareth. Yeah,
that whole like money versus love versus like controlling money, and is money, going to help you with the arts?
Yeah.
That whole scene ends with money ending, and it's weirdly perfect.
It freaked me out a lot. I was like, is this going to happen every time? Because do I have to give Hitch a 10 out of 10? Like after Jaws? Are we kidding here? What? So yes, we get into Us and Them, and we're back at that same bar, and Hitch is scoping out people there. Sarah, he's trying to like hit on Sarah here, and then she's getting hit on by this other guy, Chip. And she's like trying to like deflect his advances, basically. And then Hitch like steps in to rescue her from this guy hitting on her, which again is a shitty, weird move. But anyway, she's and then he like says that she's giving all kinds of like standoffish signals, like down to the way she's dressed and what she's drinking and all kinds of stuff. Which is pretty wild that he's saying this, considering that he was just going to hit on her earlier in the scene. Like,
that's such a good point. Yeah.
Like, he's saying, you should, it's pretty clear that you don't want to be hit on based on all these different things. And it's like, well, then what the fuck were you doing like seconds ago when you were asking what kind of drink that she wanted to have? Like, what are you about, Hitch?
Hitch.
Mate, you're lying to yourself. You can't. I caught you in a lie, Hitch.
Yeah.
I'm coming for you now. I'm hunting you down. He also introduces himself as a consultant here, which is just like, again, this is like a classic evil Tom Hanks move, like lie about who you are, what you do. I don't know. And then they have this like weird, like oblique conversation where they're talking around like what's happening here as if they're describing characters in a scene. They're saying like, oh, and what if this nice guy said this? And she's like, well, then this would happen, and like that kind of thing. I found it very tiresome to read in subtitle form.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I just imagine me sitting off screen in this bar, like trying to enjoy a cocktail, just like listening to this just drawn out conversation between these two people, and I'm like, oh, let's get to the point. And then he like, she rejects him basically, and then he gets up and leaves, I guess playing the long game or whatever, and then a drink is brought over to her, and then Hitch is off to meet this new potential client, Vance Munson, which is such a good name.
Yeah, perfect character name.
Yeah, because this guy sucks. Turns out that this is the guy who was hitting on Sarah's friend earlier, and is now attempting to hire Hitch to not set them up for a future relationship, but he just wants to bang her. Quote. He wants to, like a one night stand with her. And Hitch is like, I don't do that. I set people up for relationships. I set guys who want relationships up in relationships. That's what I do. And yeah, he knows that this is a scummy guy. And he's like, well, I'll do it, whatever. Like, I don't need your help. I get what I want no matter what because I'm a winner, baby. That's who I am. He does this weird thing where he grabs Hitch's arm and then he like flips and reverses it and then pins him on the table. It's weird. It's a weird scene.
Yeah. Hitch does go to leave when Pink Floyd sing Out, so we've got to allow it to happen.
He's down and out. Lance Monson's down and out on the table. That's for damn sure. He's out on the count of 3. Hitch has a wrestling career awaiting him. I'm just saying. Then another weird thing happens. Sarah is at work and Hitch delivers her a walkie-talkie so he can ask her out using that because she didn't give him her number, which is like...
See, this is again to my weakness because this is icky, but again, I was distracted by the most distracting bike messenger I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, this guy's great. He's here like delivering it and just hangs out here. And you're like, why is this guy hanging out in the scene? It turns out there is a reason, but like he just like is so distracting here. Everyone just like gathers around to watch this weird conversation happen, and it is kind of fun. I like that the bike messenger guy is just witness to all of it, but it's because he has a gift to deliver if she says yes over the walkie-talkie to a date with old mate Hitch. He's got a contingency delivery that is waiting based on this conversation.
This bike messenger was so gunning for her to say no, and he gets to keep that wetsuit and just wear it next delivery he makes.
Yeah.
That is 100% his vibe.
He gets to go on the date with Hitch if she says no. He gets to go jet skiing.
Relationship.
Yeah.
He'd be so good at it.
Yeah, he rides a bike all day.
Yeah.
Jet ski is very similar. They call that the bike of the ocean.
Yeah. I'm just so happy we've now covered 2 rom-coms with incredibly distracting bike messengers. That have been highlighted by Pink Floyd playing, I feel. Yeah. Between this and Look Who's Talking.
Yeah, you're so right. Oh my God.
Yeah. The Bike Messenger cinematic universe is growing.
Yeah. Get out there. What's that Bike Messenger movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt as the guy? We should watch that at some point and see, and see if that works.
Anyway. I'd suggest that next, but we're unfortunately held under the thumb of a funny number for the next episode, so have to choose something else.
You're so right. I didn't even think about that. Okay, anyway,
what a bloody curse.
The curse of the damn funny numbers.
Yeah.
The funny number curse. Okay, so they go off to jet ski. We cut to the date. They're jet skiing down the Hudson, and they are racing off to some like mystery location. She gets sort of like tricked into doing it. He does this weird thing here where I don't know if this is, I don't think this is a move, but like his jet ski runs out of power and he's like, oh, let me on your jet ski. And like, I guess for them to be closer together if it is a move, but they end up both
I feel like he did
in.
that intentionally, yeah.
Yeah. It's a crappy move again. This is not. Yeah. This is weird. Like
he definitely doesn't mean to then kick her off her jet ski, but yeah.
Yeah, no. Don't.
Up until then,
don't strand yourself in the middle of the Hudson like DJ Khaled out there, like getting stuck in the ocean on your jet ski, getting real scared. Like, it's not worth it. You know, like it's a weird move, and it didn't work for me again.
It's definitely not a first date. Like,
no,
a first date should be way more casual. Like, I'm no Hitch, but I'm also, if some Hitch came after me with a jet ski first date, I probably wouldn't. Although I've never been on a jet ski, and I think about jet skis all the time.
I'd feel weird if he wanted to put his his Hitch body up against mine because of this weird. Like, this is the bit that weirds me out. Like, I think
I'll tow the jet ski back. I'll hitch that jet ski. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be like, you wait out here because you're perfectly safe. I'll go back and get like one of the
Coast
instructor,
Guard.
one of the instructor people to come out and rescue you. Like, I don't know. I'm not a competent. I've never been on a jet ski before. We established this. Like, I'm not competent in this way. I'll go get help. I don't know. So
I love jet skis. I find them so fascinating. They're like mix between speed and opulence and like tackiness.
Yeah. They got great design, that's for sure. They never left the like early 80s. They just kept that exact aesthetic the whole way through, and that's never died. The jet ski is just like constantly like bright colors, fun over all else. Like
There was this place I went in the Marlborough Sounds of New Zealand. There's a little kind of campground in Nydia Bay, and the owner's daughters moved there, and then the only way they could get to school across the ocean was to take a jet ski for 50 minutes and then get on the bus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jet ski
every morning.
Every day.
50-minute jet ski. Yeah.
Man, that's a long time.
Yeah. I mean, it was the fastest way because, like, boats couldn't get into, crevices, but...
Yeah.
I imagine, if the Hitch tried to hit on them, they'd have no interest.
They'd just get right away on their jet skis.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd never catch them down. He'd be worn out. His jet ski's sputtering and dying in the middle of the Hudson River. He's never making it to the Marlborough Sounds. Oh, no.
I also, after hearing that, crunched the numbers. If I wanted to take a jet ski to work, I would have to circumvent the entirety of New Zealand.
Whoa.
Yeah, there are no rivers, there are no nearby bays. I would have to go all the way around to the top of Cape Reinga and then back down to the other side of Auckland.
That's a hell of a commute, Gareth. I don't know. That's like, put that in your like contingency at work. You're just like, I always commute by jet ski, so I might be a little late on some days.
Yeah.
It's just the only method of transport that I have. It's like it's fine for the environment. I like being out on the open water, but
it helps me come up with my best ideas. But yeah, I will show up at Friday for my role starting on Monday.
Yes, that is just the only way that it works. Pretty good turnaround to circumnavigate New Zealand in 5 days.
Oh, true. Yeah.
On a jet ski. That's bloody impressive.
Was a big stat.
In of itself. I love that. Oh, I can't wait for you to set that record, Gareth. I'm very excited.
If we ever start our Patreon for the right donation, I'll circumvent New Zealand on a jet ski listening to Dark Side of the Moon.
In 5 days. That has got to be, that's an astronomically high tier, but I love it. We dream big like Kevin James. Oh, fantastic. So they go on their jet skis to Ellis Island out here, and they get a bit of American history about immigrants to America. And he's done this like weird research into her life, and so he knows that there's this book here that has her grandfather's name, her great-grandfather's name written in it.
Which is so icky, and also, like, what were the odds? Like, other people have the same surname, Hitch.
Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, it doesn't work, because when she sees it, she bursts into tears, and he's like, oh, I've nailed it, I've crushed it. And then she's like, is like wailing and very upset by it. It's like, oh, that is not the reaction that I thought I would get. Turns out her grandfather was some kind of like horrible murderer.
The butcher of Cadiz.
Yeah, which is
probably said that wrong.
Like a harrowing memory. Well, like not a memory, but like part of her family heritage that was thrown in her face on a first date. Like, Jesus, not great. And so and also like quite obvious that like Hitch knew that this would happen. Like, why would they have gone here other than this reason, right? Just like,
for sure.
It's not the hardest puzzle to solve. Anyway, she gets like she goes into a cab and goes home, and he gets his shirt ripped off right at the end of playthrough number 1 here, and we go to playthrough 2.
Leaving our hero Hitch in a weird, like, semi-state of still being cool Mr. Hitch, but then, like, not quite being cool, Mr. Hitch.
No. He's been cut down a peg after this date going real bad. None of his...
One play, one peg. The classic Pink Floyd rule.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
Yeah, every play we've listened to has taken us down one peg, so we're
That's for damn sure.
pegs. Yeah.
I've got so few pegs. I can't use my clothes horse. It's terrible.
But submit to our Patreon and I will get all our pegs back on a jet ski.
Yeah, please. Playthrough 2. Here we go. We get a rundown of this date from Sarah and Casey, who are hanging out again, and she says that the date was actually kind of fun and in a disastrous kind of way. She was actually fairly endeared to him by him failing so badly, but just sort of going with it. She was kind of impressed by that. We get Hitch coaching Albert through a phone call with Allegra over Breathe. He's slipping all over marbles for this scene, and again, classic Kevin James fashion. Don't know why he's got a vase full of marbles, but I love it. It's the fake soil for a plant. It's weird. And then we cut between him coaching Albert and then this fashion date thing. They go out and scope this. I don't know what is really going on here. Some kind of conference place where they're meeting and talking with all the different people about this fashion investment that she's going to make. And we're cutting back and forth between the advice and Albert implementing it. And the key point here is that he's here to impress this friend of Allegra called Maggie, who turns out to be a guy. And it's oh my gosh, he's a guy?
Yeah.
What? It was I don't know. It's a weird little part of the movie, but anyway.
Again, a friend we don't see again.
Yeah. Maggie's
almost
not at all important.
Yeah. Even though Hitch says she's the most important. It's running the you've got mail rule of once you're in love, your friends will vanish.
Yeah, apparently. They just disappear. They talk a lot about a murderer and then they disappear. Yeah. Weird. He comes on pretty strong. He gets scolded for doing awkward dancing in front of Hitch. And then does his awkward dancing anyway because he loves to do his awkward dancing because that's who he is.
And this dancing strikes betwixt the crash of On the Run and the clocks. So essentially no music.
Echoing silence.
Over just ambient sound. Yeah, which, I don't know, kind of takes away the gift of Kevin James at his most charming in this film.
Definitely.
Doing his moves.
Yeah.
Because this scene was Will Smith and Kevin James just pretty much improvising, showing each other dance moves. Kevin James,
Yeah, this is very, you can tell that Kevin James had a lot of these that he was just throwing out, and they just used as much of it as they could, I think.
The entirety of Yeah by Usher plays.
Oh, wow. Front to back? That's amazing. I didn't know that. God damn. Yeah. So then he busted out in the club and does the same crazy moves. And then it seems to have gone reasonably well. The next day, Sarah is getting scolded for missing this scoop about who's dating Allegra Cole. It's this weird Albert guy that no one's ever heard of. What the fuck is going on? And so they assume they've missed some kind of scandal. And Hitch also is talking with Albert, a debriefing after this date, and he basically tells him not to be himself, which is again really bad advice. I don't know, it's just Kevin James this is the lesson of the movie, I guess, but it's just he's like, no, you've got to change who you are effectively. He said earlier in the movie that you, like speaking to someone, he was saying that you is a very like malleable concept right now.
Yeah.
Like change your personality to someone who is more attractive to girls or to the opposite sex or whatever. And I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
No. I hate that. Yeah, I don't know. It's just shitty advice, but at least the movie is aware of that later on.
Yeah, it's not like Grease where that is the final moral.
Well, that's the lesson, yeah. The moral of Grease. Change everything about who you are for the love of your life.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This is I could talk for days about Grease.
It'll happen.
Okay.
The multiple day episode.
Yeah, oh no. That's where we're circumnavigating New Zealand on jet skis talking about Grease.
Recording a live Grease episode.
Yeah, there's a lot
that's part of the
of motor noise in that episode. I'm sorry about that. We couldn't edit out all of it. Then after this bad advice, he talks about the first kiss that in a relationship is monumental. It's very important. He's like, I think he says two different statistics about the amount of women that base their, like what the relationship is going to be like based on the first kiss.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he says two different things.
That's ringing a bell.
But anyway, and then they do like a practice kiss over time solo between Hitch and Albert here, where it's like sort of about building his confidence, but again, it's like 2005. It's like ooh, this is gay kind of thing.
Yeah, and they pull out like immediately. I've got some fun facts about this scene.
Okay,
to kind of wash out the sad mid 2000s gay panic, like
sure
lameness of it.
Please do.
So this scene is longer than it was supposed to be in the script. In the script, it was like 30 seconds of just debrief. And Will Smith liked the neighborhood and especially the door they stand in front of so much that he was like, there's got to be more to this scene. And they're like, well, what can we do about it? And Will Smith himself pitched the 90-10 rule where you go 90% of the way for the kiss.
Right.
And get them, they have to go the last 10.
Yeah.
So they just added that in. And while they were doing this, they were like, well, we better get permission of this door owner. Knocked on it. And that door is Sarah Jessica Parker's door.
No way.
Yeah.
That is what on earth?
Yeah. So she came down and they were like, hey, can we just improvise the scene where Kevin James and Will Smith might kiss?
And she was like, absolutely yes. Please do that in front of my door.
Matthew Broderick was probably looking out the window like, what's going on, honey?
Wow. That's wild. Yeah. That's a great fact.
So crazy, right? Yeah.
I love that. Oh my God. I have nothing to add to that other than that's awesome.
I owe a lot of these facts to, there's an Entertainment Weekly writer who apparently loves Hitch so much that there are several articles about Hitch on Entertainment Weekly's website, all written by the same guy.
That's impressive.
Like really going for it to try to make sure you like learn about Hitch. Like he was the guy who did like a 20 years of Hitch retrospective.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh my God. There haven't even been 20 years of Hitch. It came out in 2005.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I meant 15, don't worry.
Okay.
He's probably... I'm going to be honest, the dude's probably drafted the, like, final, like, his 20-year Hitch, his 30-year Hitch. 50 years of Hitch.
I've got to respect it, honestly. Is someone, like, also fully committed to the bit? Like, I get it. Like... Makes perfect sense to me, man. Like, that's just... Shout out to you, brother. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. So they do this, the weird kiss thing, which is... It's all right. It's okay. We go into Great Gig, and basically Sarah figures out that... Albert and Allegra were set up by some kind of dating coach guy. Doesn't know who that is because of course Hitch said that he was just a consultant. So she doesn't assume that it's him automatically. And so she goes out on another date with her boss, weirdly, because like she finds out that it's his name that was on Albert's ticket to the place.
Yeah.
And so that's suspicious. She's like, what is the relationship here? What's going on? And so like goes out with the boss and his wife as like a double date on this like cooking thing, cooking class date, to like investigate. And she's trying to be subtle about it, but her boss isn't at all. Trying to steer the conversation towards this like this night that happened and figure out what the connection is. Yeah, he really wants the scoop, but he's not an investigative reporter. He's not at all subtle about it.
Yeah.
And then Hitch like deftly deflects the questioning by like saying that Albert's his accountant and it was like a gift to him to like go out on this date. And then not to like go out on the date, but to go. He like gave him the ticket and then he hit it off with this girl. That's the story, right? Like yeah. And weirdly, the boss's wife is like super into Hitch throughout the course of this scene. I don't know why this is part of the film, but it is.
I guess she's a psychiatrist, and like the film outright says it this time. So maybe she has heard of Hitch from the like street psychiatry circles, and she's like, you got to analyze this guy, this Hitch. She's been playing pool.
Analyze
the third
this,
one,
analyze that, and then analyze Hitch.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh, we were both like trying to race for the same joke there. I'm so sorry. Both reaching for that.
Yeah, it's a Mario Kart of joke.
The Mario Kart.
And I just happened to throw my banana and hit it onto myself.
Oh no, I hate when that happens.
Yeah,
dude. I don't. It wasn't an earned win from me. It's the classic Mario Kart bullshit getting in the way. Oh man, that's stream delay or like our conversation. So the date like is going fine, and then Hitch starts having an allergic reaction to something that he eats, and then tries to like deflect from that again because he's trying to be like super confident or whatever. But his ear and then his whole face starts swelling up. He's like still trying to play it cool when they race off to a pharmacy to get him some drugs to fix that up. And then he like only after seeing his reflection in a mirror, he like freaks out, like screeches like a banshee, I'm imagining, like, and then just like starts drinking medicine like out of the bottle right there in the aisle. Like, what the fuck? It's a wild situation. And then for the rest of the day is them like walking home with him sipping the like medicine out of this little bottle, like completely off his tits on this very strong medicine. And like, he's trying to say, he's saying like, my mind is like Fort Knox. It's impregnable. I'm never going to give you information. And then she's like, oh, so where is Allegra and Albert going on their next date? And he's like, to the Knicks game, obviously. Like, pretty fun. I like that bit, honestly. This is pretty good. Yeah. They go back to her place, I think. For him to like recover because he's in like no state to go anywhere or whatever. He probably doesn't remember where he lives. They like just sort of like throwing questions at each other, like, do you have any siblings? Have you ever been in love before? You know, classic stuff. She tells a story about her sister almost dying, which is kind of
falling
rough.
Through the ice.
Ice, like, and then having to be saved by mouth to mouth. This is the defining moment in her life, which made her so guarded or whatever as a person.
Which makes Hitch's one nothing.
It's like, it's wild that the movie compares these two stories as like the same. Like, Hitch got his heart broken while he was in college, and that's his story. Sarah's sister nearly died.
Yeah,
and she had to
saved
save
her
her
sister's
life with mouth to mouth.
Yeah.
Like what? Hitch.
That's such a good point.
Let me give you a stern talking to. Oh my gosh.
Like, even to bring it back to Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother, like, his origin story that I think they revealed in the first season is very similar to Hitch's, in that he got cheated on and then kind of became the other man. But, like, at least that had an interesting angle, that he was, like, a virgin up until then, and he was, like, going to go join the Peace Corps or something. I can't quite remember.
Yeah.
But, like, there was a lot more kind of weight to it, whereas this was just, like, Hitch used to wear glasses, and then he got his heart broken, and now he's Hitch.
Yeah. Now he's a cool Hitch man. Like, it's the like lukewarm take on the Barney Stinson story, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just not good. And comparing these two things with like equal weight just sucks. I don't know.
Yeah. I think we need a Hitch origin story. That's my second in what this show is going to call the Hitch pitch. Of like ways we can read. So we've got Hitch Heal the World, the sequel. Maybe we can build up to that, get the people going with a Hitch origin story. Mostly to say where he learned this stuff, because we don't know he's learned it. How he set this business up, because imagine me going out and trying to set up this business as a dating consultant. And how much he pays. Gosh. Like, how much he charges.
Yeah, like, I want to know. I want to know what is going on.
I want to see the Hitch receipts, honestly.
Oh, yeah. I too want to see Hitch's receipts. I want to know. I want a full documentation. I want to trace the origins. The full picture, ideally.
Yeah. Paint me a full Hitcher. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Where is therapists now?
Yeah.
It can be told from like the pool therapist's perspective. It's all framed within that, you know. That would work.
That's how we get people in, is they think it's a film about like a accidental therapist who loves playing pool, but then Hitch is like a huge part of it, and it's actually a back alley Hitch prequel.
Yeah. I love that. Because that premise in of itself, the pool therapist one, that is wildfire. Everyone's gonna see that.
I've heard that's the next Avengers Endgame.
I think so, yeah. Everyone's real into pool movies. Pool movies and therapist movies going to make a huge comeback.
For sure.
Very exciting.
I will say as well, like, I woke up in the middle of the night last night because it was very windy and couldn't stop thinking about Hitch. So the Hitch like remakes and sequels we've pitched, the Hitch pitches we've had, like, I don't feel like they've got a huge chance, but the most obvious Hitch pitch that I'm sure they're banking on, they're probably shooting already, is definitely Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Hitch. Like, he wishes he was Hitch.
Wow. Yeah, probably.
Right? Kevin Hart as Kevin James.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'm getting less and less into it as we go.
No, I don't want to see it, but it will exist.
Dang.
That movie will come out before this episode comes out.
Okay. Wow. That's a guarantee. That's a podcast guarantee. Us and Them kicking in right when she wakes up the following morning to find Hitch gone. And she starts like berating herself for like being weird on the day. I don't really know why she starts like yelling at herself here. I don't know. But then, turns around and of course he is there. He's just went out to get breakfast. And he's cool Hitch again. He's not like on drugs Hitch like he was before. He does say a line here which I was kind of impressed with. He says, "Begin each day as if it were on purpose," which is like a little bit cheesy, but it's like not a bad maxim. I kind of like this one.
That's, as far as his like live, laugh, loves that he drops throughout the film, that's one of the best ones,
That's one of the better ones. Like, it is like, it doesn't really mean a lot, but like, it's like at least like actionable advice, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. They give each other like a fairly awkward goodbye the next day, and then they have a big old kiss out in the street. So even though these dates have been like absolute disasters, they are like they're still into each other and like have like gotten to know each other a bit better, but they have a big old kiss. And then they like double back for like another one. It's like, man, it's a huge kiss, huge first kiss.
Yeah.
A long one. I was like, man, I felt like it was an eternity. I guess I was looking for a sync when this was happening because I was just like getting bored watching them kiss because it went on for so long. And I was like, I guess this is kind of syncing with like the bits and us and them, but like I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure.
No.
Anyway. But I had time to write all that down, so that gives you an idea.
Yeah, it's a long smooch.
Yeah. Anyway, at the end of this bit, it seems that, things seem to be going well for their relationship. But, of course, he's still lying about his job and, like, various other things. So, I don't know. It's not good. He set himself up to fail. Sarah walks out of this scene right into trouble as her friend here is getting an early morning coffee because she's just slept with Vance Munson. Remember him?
Yeah.
The gross guy with the crazy name? He's out here trying to like ruin Hitch's reputation by saying that it was Hitch who helped set him up with the friend here. It's like a really weird like 4D chess that he's playing.
Yeah.
In order to like orchestrate this happening. It's very far-fetched that all this happens, but whatever. Like, what does he stand to gain? I don't understand. He's just like a jerk to everyone, and that's like his motivation, and it all just like magically works out. I don't know. It's weird. But anyway, Sarah goes and like talks to Vance and tries to figure out like who this person is that set up him with the friend or whatever with Casey. And they stop right in front of a statue of a giant bull, and like right by the rump of this bull. And I don't know what this set piece is all about, but like he gets kneed in the balls right next to this big bull, and I don't know what it means.
Again, because like this movie's so beautifully designed, and like Kevin James got his best set piece people in because he knew we wanted to knock some stuff over. So like this had to have been on purpose. The big Wall Street bull, the kneeing. It's saying something, but it's a little too smart for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's one of it. Yeah, it's either like super smart or super not smart. So it's for you to decide, I guess, listeners.
Yeah.
We cut from here to Albert getting his back waxed for a future date. Hitch is talking on the phone to Sarah and invites her out for another date to make up for the last one, which had his whole allergic reaction episode. Allegra and Albert go to a basketball game, and Albert just sort of like acts like himself a lot more. Here, he's like really enjoying sports because that's what he likes. He teaches her how to whistle because she doesn't know how to whistle, and he is a bit of a klutz, and she doesn't seem to mind this. It goes really well. And then it leads up to the kiss at the door outside of Sarah Jessica Parker's door, as there's very added pressure there because she's watching from the window.
Yeah.
He's terrified of the kiss in potentia hovering above him, basically. He like chickens out and doesn't kiss Allegra, and then he like dramatically turns around and throws his inhaler on the ground and goes like, wait, and then runs over to her, and then they have a kiss, and it's like, good, they did it, he did it, congratulations. The crowd goes wild.
I'm not sure about this anti-inhaler message the film's dropping as well. Like, if you need to breathe, you can't get a kiss. Like, life's not about the number of breaths you take, but they will be limited if you don't keep your inhaler on you. So I'm not stoked at that. Plus, he's lost his job and doesn't have health insurance anymore.
It's rough times for old mate Albert here.
All I'm saying is I hope he ran back and got it after he did his little dance.
Almost, yeah. I hope so too.
Yeah.
Or at least he has like spears around his house or something.
No, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he was done with that one anyway. He'd puffed his last out of that little inhaler and he was like, I'm down with littering now. I'm just here to kiss.
Well, the new inhalers tell you how many puffs you have left, just if you need an inhaler news.
He had successful kiss. Congratulations, Kevin James. He runs out on the street, has a wee dance around in celebration, as he's wont to do. Leftover dance moves from earlier. And the next day, Sarah has got this like weird sting operation to like figure out what the identity of this creepy guy, the helper guy. Fuck, I've forgotten all my words right now. He's trying. She's got to find out who Hitch is. That's it. Yeah. The date doctor. She's trying to figure out who that is and who should it be, but it's old bloody Hitch. Here he is. She gets him on camera. He's here, like, trying to help out her workmate set him up that she's hired or whatever. And, she can't handle it. She freaks out and runs off all heartbroken because of, like, it's a very complicated situation, but basically, like, Hitch isn't who he said he was. And it turns out that he's helping out guys like Vance, like, sleep with her friends, and it sucks. And it's also...
And it's got to put the, like, doubt in her mind that everything he's done is probably part of his, like, sleaze.
Yeah.
Like, it's Hitch's advice to go and get yourself poisoned with seafood.
Yeah, apparently. Like, it's like his weird, fucked up methods to sleep with girls and things like that. Like, it's a perfectly reasonable assumption to make. And, like, she knows that, like, he's trying to set up Albert with Allegra and stuff like that, and that, like, it translates to that as well. Presumes that, like, that is all that Albert's looking for from Allegra as well. Yeah. And so she basically writes this, like, crazy expose story about this whole thing because that's her job, and gives it to her boss, and her boss is like, well... Like, good boss moment here. He's like, this guy, he's like fairly important to you, right? Are you sure you want to publish this before like thinking it over? And he's like, I'll let you think it over before like you make any rash decisions here about this, because you like had like a thing. You went on a date with this guy where he got poisoned or whatever. So we go into Eclipse. As like Sarah like comes around to Hitch's house and like is now like wise to all his tricks as this gross pickup artist guy, and she is acting like terrifying in this date here, just like completely mad, but is acting like insane to like rile him up and like make sure none of his weird tricks or whatever work. She just assumes that everything that he's doing is some weird like pickup artist move, like comments on like the Spanish wine that he got and all kinds of stuff like this, like all this like she assumes that everything's been like heavily researched. And to be fair, some of the things that like has gone on have been heavily researched and weird, but like this stuff seems to be more genuine. But anyway, basically they get into like, it escalates and they get into like a shouting match between each other, and they throw salad at each other, like adults do. And
exactly.
She like, it ends badly. They yell at each other. She's like, Hitch assumes that like she just doesn't like what he does, like has figured out like his job when he lied, which is bad, but like, and then just like is judging him super harsh based on that, like when really she's like writes for a gossip magazine and is also like, I don't know, putting people in these weird situations and talking about their lives and stuff. It's like, I don't know. Anyway, they get in this argument. And then, yeah, she like hits the button on the expose story, and that gets published in the next gossip rag the next day. And yeah, it ruins Hitch's reputation. Albert and Allegra get like broken up basically because the articles about them. It's like, look, this guy can get you into bed with Allegra. What was her name? Allegra Cole? Yeah, Allegra Cole.
Yeah.
Like any old schlub can have sex with her because of this guy, and it's like it's like a triple threat, like fucking all of them over, in one single story. Albert sees it and like freaks out, destroys a newspaper stand, and gets arrested. In his style, Hitch just sort of like panics and like gets accosted on the street by like random people being like, "Did you set up my man with me?" And it's like, "No, I don't know who you are." I quite enjoyed that bit.
I loved that, like, the idea of the doubt going across New York City of like, oh man, my schlubby husband may have been like a Hitch deal all along.
Yeah. Again, it's like a very weird low stakes Ghostbusters where all the ghosts come out over New York City. It's a very similar energy.
Yeah. All the romance ghosts.
Romance ghosts. Yeah. I hear that's what the new one's going to be about.
Yeah.
All the romance ghosts. Anyway, the girls, Casey and Sarah go speed dating because Casey like wanted that to happen. Sarah is doing it as a favor.
Pre-arranged. Yeah.
So they go do that. And Hitch like sneaks in and confronts Sarah about like this whole thing and is basically trying to like understand like the issue, where the issue lies between them. And they have this like insanely distracting argument, which is played for laughs a lot of the time with the like supporting characters in this room being like awkward speed daters. We get into the clocks and we find out that it was Vance, of course, stirring this all up. And Hitch is like, oh my God, cite your damn sources. What is this investigative journalism we hear? This is terrible. This is, even for a gossip rag, you don't go to people like Vance for quality information. And he makes this like huge speech to the room about relationships and like about how like people like Vance are keeping him in a job because they're complete assholes to women. And it's making it harder for good guys to approach them because they have their walls up because of the shitty guys. And it's all this like, it's like moral high ground kind of as a message, right? That's like where he's coming from as Hitch. This is where he like lays it all out. It still sucks. Like it's still like some weird creepy tactics that he's using at the end of the day. This doesn't rationalize it for me personally.
But in the eyes of the film, he's been right all along.
Yeah.
And
everyone in the room's like, oh shit.
Yeah. I was trying to like, see what the modern take on this film was. And I found like dudes who were like, oh man, Eva Mendes' character, I just don't understand why she was so mean to Hitch. She cost him his job. And it's kind of like, no, hold on. His job was never like good and sustainable.
He could go to another city and do it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's kind of it. I do wonder, like, what does Hitch do now? Like, does he have anything to fall back on? Like,
I don't know.
Is he... Yeah.
Presumably a college degree. Maybe he dropped out to become Hitch.
It seems like it. Like, it seems like he abandoned his whole life.
Yeah, he's just Hitch now. He's got nothing.
He has become
living
Hitch.
Vicariously. Yeah. Anyway, they're having sad, broken-hearted moments here over time, and then
another beautiful shot as Will Smith looks out over a balcony, and it looks like it's from Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, a very like dark New York out here.
Very blue,
terrifying. Yeah, again the color grading coming through. Yeah. Sarah goes to apologize to Hitch for like being misled into ruining his career. And Hitch like throws up his balls. They're both like still really sore and hurt about this situation, but she's like extending an olive branch and he's just like swatting it away basically.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's weird because it's like no one's learned any fucking lesson here. It's still like bad. I don't know. Albert comes by and Hitch is like taking down all his like little notes from people that he's set up, and he's like really pissed that Hitch won't help him fix the situation with Allegra because he's in love with her, like completely enamored with her, and he says he's going to kill himself in like so many words. He says it like 3 different ways that he's going to throw himself off a building. Basically, he calls Hitch a coward for like not acting in the same way and not like feeling this what he's feeling, or like I don't know, not reacting in the same way to his situation. And yeah, he goes and to chase down and find Allegra to have like a final statement with her, and we get into Great Gig and we see Allegra is boarding some kind of like super yacht, and Hitch is just magically on this super yacht.
Oh yeah.
Love this, that he's just out here on the fucking yacht from Tenet. It's like basically trying to smooth things over and say repair the relationship between her and Albert. And she's like, oh, I can't believe like you tricked him into, or like you made him do all these things that like you must have really researched me because you nailed all these things about me. Like, but it turns out the things that she lists off, like his bad dancing to make her feel better about her own bad dancing, and like him spilling things on himself is like it's like an endearing thing to like, I don't know, calm her down or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. The classic
all these
rom-com,
things.
so clumsy.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. She like really liked that, but that was all stuff that just Albert came up with on his own. That was just who he is as a person, rather than anything that Hitch told him to do. And that's what she fell in love with. So she was in love with the real Albert all along.
Aww.
And Albert at this point comes back on the boat and chokes Hitch out briefly with his Kevin James super strength, and then they like reconcile and get back together. Not him and Hitch, him and Allegra. I presume they reconcile as well, but just less passionately. Yeah. And then Hitch runs off to sort out his other situation. He's inspired now. The color grading's like gone crazy. Everything's super colorful after love has returned to be real. And his Hitch powers have come back, you know. In this moment, right, he realizes that, Hitch is supposed to be realizing that, and in fact, his advice is that he's just giving these guys the confidence to talk to the people they like, and then they kind of do the rest. Like, they have the power in them all along, you know. Yeah, he's just like
it's a real 90%,
with confidence
10%
issues.
Yeah,
like that's the idea that the movie's trying to say here. Like, and that's honestly not bad. Like that one's okay in my book. Out of the moralizing that this movie does, like I think that one's all right. Yeah. He goes to Sarah's place to try and repair things with her. He's like stumbling over his words, and we go into money, and then like he like gets her to close the door and talks to her with the door closed because he's like too nervous. I like that he's like, oh, there's no me behind the door to like coach me through me talking to you. I
thought that hitches the hitches.
Yeah, that is so true. Oh man. He basically admits to her that he's in love with her, and he says like, he says it terribly. He says he wants to be miserable if that's what it takes to be happy, which is like, what? That's a person who doesn't understand love trying to explain that feeling. Anyway, she opens the door and this like tall, hunky guy comes out. Some guy called Tom Reeder, I've written in my notes. And yeah, she's like, it's implied that she's hooked up with him, and she's like, I think we should just both move on and probably be better. And he's like, just doesn't take no for an answer so many times here. Yeah. And to a distressing degree. He chases her out to the street. She gets in a car with the other guy, starts driving away. He like climbs over the car and throws himself in front of it because he's so in love with her. All this sucks. Don't what the fuck? It's also implied here. Well, it's not implied. He's like basically gets up from doing all this dramatic stuff and then says, "Oh, I love you," and they have a kiss. And it turns out that this was all a like big Hitch move that Sarah had put together because the guy that she had in her house was her sister's husband who was nearby for some reason.
Yeah.
It's like,
I reckon he was just
Hitch
another
trick.
Hitch. Yeah, she's just hired him, for sure.
Yeah, a rogue Hitch from another state. Yeah, Hitch versus Hitch.
The Hitch multiverse.
Yes. I need it. I need the DVD box set, Gareth.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very weird, awkward into this movie. It's like very tense, and I don't buy them as a couple because of how like awful this whole ending sequence is for me. You know, like it's just like he's like willing to destroy his own life or whatever for this girl because he's so in love with her or whatever. But it's just like bad and dramatic. It's nothing like the Kevin James thing. Where he
it's nothing like the rest
lesson.
of the movie. It's not like breezy enough or like there's none of the charm of the actors is there. Like maybe it's just we're barreled down by the anti-charm of Pink Floyd.
Yeah. Could be. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like it turning out to be like a big Hitch move that she's pulled on Hitch is like it kind of undercuts the point as well. It's like very weird, but whatever. I guess it's like fine. Anyway, we cut into the final scene, the wrap up bit with Albert and Allegra getting married. It's their wedding, and everyone's dancing around, celebrating. And as we go into Us and Them, Casey is out here alone at the wedding. She's here stag, and she has to give the Heimlich to this old lady who is nearby choking on a grape. But this is, of course, a Hitch ploy to set her up with the hot guy at the wedding. And this granny is like a hired stooge here to choke on grapes. Classic.
Nobody chokes on a grape quite like her.
It's true. She's
Hitch's number one grape choker.
Number one grape choker. Wow. Yeah. There you go. And yeah, the movie finishes up with everyone like an extended dance sequence here at the wedding. This is like a long like corridor of dance where everyone's showing off their crazy moves. Everyone's into it.
Yeah, very Shrek.
Yeah, it really is actually. Outro to Shrek for sure. They don't sail away in a giant onion. Instead, Albert does the splits and tears his pants. And yeah, we fade to the credits. What did you think? How did it sink?
Oh my gosh. Oh, well, I don't know. I really want it to be like, because a lot of the, like, every time I've mentioned 90 and 10 so far, I kind of was doing it by accident, not realizing that those numbers had sunk through. But, like, I would love it if we could say this was a 9 or a 1. So we've got that 90 and 10 kind of thing. But I don't know. It's like, a middling sync with that good money moment, the alarms for Vance. Oh,
Yeah.
it could be a 1.9.
Yeah.
A 1 plus the 90% of a 1.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
As you say, there were. Yeah, I'm on board with that. There were a couple of like pretty good ones at the start that kind of freaked me out, but then basically like long dirges of nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty happy with a 1.9 on Hitch.
1.9.
Yeah. Nice. What are we doing for the sex number, Gareth? I need to know.
Well, I've always thought like it must take forever to get a film to sync with like Dark Side of the Moon. Like the edit must take so long. So I tracked down a film that was supposed to come out in like 2001 and it didn't come out until 2012, and then nobody saw it. And there's a lot of weird reasons it didn't come out. Mainly the reason I think it didn't come out for so long is that it's considered one of the worst films ever.
Wow.
Yeah, so for the funny number, we're having tea for two. We're doing a film called Food Fight! 2012.
Oh no!
Have you heard of Food Fight!
I have not.
2012.
But you know the story that the only movie I've ever walked out of was because of a food fight. So I am terrified.
Oh no!
I'm very excited, but I'm very scared. So okay, Food Fight 2012's Food Fight.
Yeah, all I know is the legend of why it took so long. I don't really know anything about it.
Great.
Yeah, I encourage everyone to go in not knowing anything.
Dig it out.
See what we get.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Throwing our food across the pod. Across the islands of New Zealand. I'm very
let's
excited.
hope it's all 3D food flying back and forth for 2 hours.
I kind of hope so.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Some Pink Floyd playing.
Alrighty, cool.
Well, until then, pass a little business card around that says Pink Floyd on it.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, or you can do that by heading to our Twitter or at Pink Floyd Pod and all those good things.
Yeah.
And, I've been Gareth Blackler.
I've been James Barron.
And we'll see you on the dark side of the moon.
On the dark side of the moon. Yeah. Business cards are kinda the they're kinda like Twitter in a way. You're right. I just finally thought about it. It's been a long day, Gareth.
Oh, well, now of course, I'm sure you've written a Will Smith style rap to end this episode, so take it, James.
All right, here we go. Oh no, I must have cut out for that. I'm sorry.
It was hot fire, but unfortunately the microphones didn't pick it up. Oh well, we'll see you on the dark side of the moon.
On the dark side of the moon.
Oh, hot fire.
We should just have that as the intro. I'm sorry, my mind melted when I tried to say that Twitter thing. What the fuck was going on there?
What? You were like such a boomer.
Oh, I don't know what happened to me. Jesus. All right.